Most of the machines we use today rely heavily on semiconductor chips, from microwaves and smartphones to laptops, toys, cars, medical tools, and even military gear. Nearly everything we use every day is powered by semiconductors, often called microchips. Without them, the amazing innovations and groundbreaking technologies of our digital age wouldn't have become a reality. But do you know where these tiny wonders that power your devices originate from? When it comes to making these chips, Taiwan dominates as the world's leading producer, raking in a staggering $175 billion in revenue in 2022. But how did Taiwan become a semiconductor hub? Let's step back in time to explore the history behind it all. Taiwan's semiconductor scene has strong links to the US, and the backstory's pretty interesting. Back in the 1970s and 1980s, Taiwan was trying to bounce back from an economic slump caused by the 1973 oil crisis. They hit the jackpot with the mix of government support and some unexpected connections with some leaders at the Radio Corporation of America, RCA. These ties led to a whole generation of Taiwanese engineers getting trained in the US. Fast forward to 1976, and the Taiwanese government convinced RCA to transfer its semiconductor tech to Taiwan. But the real game changer came in 1987, when Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Limited, TSMC, came onto the scene with a revolutionary fabless foundry model. This completely shook up the global semiconductor industry. From that point on, Taiwan has pretty much ruled the industry when it comes to contract manufacturing of semiconductors. And today, it's the second largest market for U.S. semiconductor equipment. Other players like MediaTek played their part in this too, but TSMC stands above the rest. TSMC, the world's biggest semiconductor manufacturer, was founded by a Taiwanese-American named Morris Chang in 1987. Now, they have branches in China, the US, and Singapore, and offices all over the world, including China, Europe, India, Japan, and South Korea. The recent numbers show TSMC's market cap somewhere between a whopping US $452.74 billion and US $468 billion. Taiwan rules the chip game, especially in the realm of cutting-edge chips below 7 nanometers. Semiconductors are the world's fourth most traded product, after only crude oil, refined oil, and cars. In 2022, they owned a whopping 70% of global chip production, raking in $40.2 billion out of the total global of $57.4 billion in revenue. So, why is Taiwan the chip-making champ? It goes back to the smart moves of the Taiwanese government in nurturing companies like TSMC. For more than 4 decades, they've created a welcoming environment for semiconductor manufacturers, offering essentials like water, electricity, land, and even sweet tax incentives. They gave a boost to the capital markets, dishing out R&D support through the Industrial Technology Research Institute, ITRI, and even set up industrial parks to lay the groundwork for tech innovation. Fast forward to today. TSMC, with 65,000 plus employees, dominates with a 54% market share. It's in most of your gadgets, as tech investor Bill Tai points out. TSMC is the biggest chip foundry on the planet, with silicon in most of the devices in your house and your life. TSMC's strategic decisions also came into play just as the semiconductor industry started booming. Many U.S. companies decided to outsource their chip production to TSMC, giving them a massive edge over the competition. And let's not forget the work ethic in Taiwan. They hustle 24/7 and have a knack for squeezing out 15% more output than others. Plus, TSMC's lean management keeps them more agile and innovative in their production methods than their competitors, keeping them at the top of their game. But it's not just about manufacturing, it's about pushing the boundaries. The Taiwanese government maintains its commitment to fostering investments in the domestic semiconductor sector, ensuring its ongoing success. Collaboration among academia, research institutions, technology organizations, and industry partners within the semiconductor ecosystem remains robust, while Taiwan is fully dedicated to nurturing semiconductor talent. And today, the world is seriously hooked on Taiwan's chips. These chips power pretty much everything we use. Think about your smartphone, gaming console, or laptop. Chances are they're powered by Taiwanese chips, making them faster and smarter. In the automotive world, these chips drive everything from advanced driver assistance systems to the cool features of your electric car. Even in healthcare, they play a vital role, helping MRI machines and glucose monitors do their thing. So Taiwan semiconductors power countless products and technologies that define our modern world. The demand for semiconductors made in Taiwan is off the charts right now. But hey, it's not all sunshine for these Taiwanese chip manufacturers. They're facing a bit of a talent crisis, and it's hitting hard. Reports are saying that during the first quarter of 2022, the Taiwanese semiconductor industry had a talent shortage of a whopping 35,000 people. That's almost a 40% increase from the year before. Why the shortage? Well, part of it is because countries like the US, China, Japan, and India are pouring money into their own semiconductor industries. They're poaching top-notch engineers away from Taiwan with offers too tempting to resist. And to top it all, the average monthly paycheck for a Taiwanese semiconductor worker is a mere $1,688. Taiwan also has some pretty strict labor laws that make it tough for foreigners to land jobs in their chip industry. The good news is that the Taiwanese government is on it. They're brainstorming ways to bump up those salaries and make it easier for both locals and workers around the world to join the chip-making industry. But there's a problem that is complicating the current situation: Taiwan-China relations. Taiwan and China aren't getting along so well, particularly since President Tsai Ing-wen's election in 2016. Taiwan's leader, President Tsai, says they want to keep their own democracy and not join up with China. China, on the other hand, really wants Taiwan back and says they might even use military force. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Some people think Taiwan's chip-making power is like a super shield. They believe that in the event of a Chinese military action against Taiwan, countries around the world will step in to help Taiwan militarily, economically, or diplomatically. Why? Because the world relies on those Taiwanese chips for various technological applications. But China is working hard to make their own chips and be less dependent on Taiwan. This tension is making everyone nervous. While Europe and the US are trying to make more chips themselves to be less reliant on Taiwan, many US defense systems, including advanced fighter jets, radars, and missile defense systems, still rely on commercial chips sourced from Taiwan. So, during the conflict with China, if something goes wrong and Taiwan's chip factories can't work, the potential disruption of Taiwan's chip manufacturing would not only affect national security, but also lead to economic devastation worldwide. In fact, our phones, cars, and all sorts of gadgets could be in trouble. Why? Because these chips are everywhere. Every new iPhone has a TSMC chip inside, and your modern car packs in 1,000 to 3,500 semiconductors, many from Taiwan. Now, think about 5G and the Internet of Things, IoT, the next big things, right? Well, TSMC is crucial here too. They make the high-tech microprocessors needed for these tech revolutions, and not many others can do it like they can. These are just a few of many essential technologies and industries that would be dramatically impacted by disruptions to Taiwanese chip manufacturing. So, it's not just about politics, it's about the stuff we use every day. This uncertain international security environment is a pressing concern for global stability and technological advancement. So, is Taiwan making any efforts to maintain its position as a semiconductor hub in the future? Certainly, yes. While other countries aim to build their semiconductor industries, the Taiwan government is on a mission to make sure their industrial supply chains are rock solid. They want to boost the status of Taiwan's key national industries on the global stage. So, what are they doing? Well, they're actively supporting semiconductor companies right in their own backyard. They've even sweetened the deal for these local companies by increasing tax breaks for their R&D investments from 15% to a whopping 25%. Also, if a company spends 10 billion new Taiwanese dollars, that's around US $0.3 billion on fancy new equipment for advanced process technology, it gets an extra 5% tax credit. It's a pretty smart way to encourage cutting-edge tech investments. Now, you might be wondering about corporate taxes. Well, for businesses that meet certain criteria, the corporate income tax rate stays at 12% this year, but it'll edge up by 15% by 2025. It's all about finding that balance between attracting investment and keeping the nation's finances in check. Taiwan isn't just a blip on the radar in the semiconductor world. It's a crucial player in the manufacturing side of the global semiconductor supply chain. And in these uncertain times, Taiwan is teaming up with like-minded partners to make sure they're ready to handle whatever curveballs the global supply chain throws their way. They're all about strategic resiliency, and that's a game plan that's hard to beat. So, as we look to the future of Taiwan's semiconductor industry, do you think that disruptions in this vital supply chain can ever become a reality? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating tech insights. Until next time, stay tuned.